Come June 21, it will be decision day for the people of Ekiti. 18 candidates are gunning for one seat.
I am the next governor of Ekiti.
But the people will have the final say.
I know that tolerance has a very big place.
Join extensive coverage of the election and get up to the many details as development unfolds.
I'm the voice of the Ekiti people.
With expert analysis from the best political team on television.
And that's honesty of island. Without
Join us all day June 21 to find out who emerges the next governor of Ekiti State.
We have agreed to move this state forward.
Keep a date with us on Core TV News. You can also watch us live on our website on www.coretvnews.com, a 24-hour news station.
Indeed, voters will be trooping out this weekend to vote for the candidates, that is, governorship candidates in Ekiti State, and how the preparation has been going on. Recently, over the weekend, we heard the organized labor having its conference in Ado-Ekiti decided to pay a courtesy call to the incumbent governor, who is also a candidate in the forthcoming election, that is June 21st. And in the course of discussion with the governor, Kayode Fayemi, the organized labor did espouse his support for the incumbent governor. In other words, the language ma basherelo, that is, continue with the good work you've been doing, and our people, our organization will be supporting you. The effect of that is that the Labour Party candidate, which is a party affiliated to organized labor, is being put in a cul-de-sac. What exactly this means for Labour Party's Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, who is a governorship candidate of the Labour Party, with an endorsement of his stronghold to the incumbent governor. That is the first part of our discussion this morning. And our guest in the studio is a veteran, a just retired Deputy Director, Network News of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, headquarters in Abuja, Mr. Gbenga Onoyiga. Gbenga, you're welcome to our studios.
Good morning, Chi.
Indeed, it's quite a while. And to even hear that just retired,
yes,
it seems very wonderful.
As soon as I saw you, I remember the good old days of Radio Nigeria 2, when we used to have the only Martins on Martin Street. I mean, wonderful. You've paid your dues, and I'm so happy to be here. And right here in this studio, I've been looking like, is it what they call it now? TV news. I'm very, very impressed with what I'm seeing right here.
Indeed.
Okay, viewer, you know what's going to happen now this morning? I'm just going to sit here and let them just go on with extending pleasantries, because they've decided to do what I call reunion. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, let me just take my new school where they do their old school reunion, and let's see what comes out of this. I must say a big thank you to you for coming on the show today.
My pleasure to be here. I'm quite impressed with your presentation too. Wow. I mean, the young shall grow too.
Of course,
old horses, I'm sure we're on our way out. Although broadcasters don't retire, mind you.
Indeed not.
But we'll allow you to grow. And you're doing very well.
Thank you, sir. I'm just doing my job. Well, we kickstart right away. Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress on Saturday endorsed Ekiti Governor Kayode Fayemi for the June 21 governorship election, as we told you earlier. Now, the NLC President Abdul Wahid Umar led out the national executive members on a call on the governor after the union's National Administrative Council and the Central Working Committee CWC meetings in Ado-Ekiti. Now, these are issues, and we want to just let you in on what we have here today. Now, I ask you, there is an existing Labour Party candidate, Opeyemi Bamidele. Now, one would think the organized labor in that state will want to pitch with him, will want to identify with their own. Why the twist?
No, why the twist? And maybe I should. Okay, you're asking me. Anyway, I'm used to asking people questions for 35 years. Even also, I will have asked you that.
So you're used to sitting on this side of the table.
I mean, we are discussing politics now. Incidentally, I'm a political scientist too.
Wow.
I read political science in addition to being a mass communicator.
Wow.
Why is Adams Oshiomhole, former president of NLC, in APC and not Labour Party? That's another poster. Nigerian politics is so interesting, so dynamic. You know, you move in to where you can, get your votes or satisfy your interest. Politics is all about interest, about conflict and conflict resolution. So we're taught in political science. It will look so strange to many Nigerians, really, that you have a candidate as a party, Labour Party. We have Labour Party in Britain and some other countries. But in the case of Nigeria, at the very last minute, the party is now saying we are going with the incumbent. It's a food for thought, and then it shows how interesting, let me put it that way, the Nigerian political situation is, very dynamic, very unpredictable. But I'm sure we need to ask more questions why that drift. Again, let me explain this. The Labour Party we have in Nigeria, yes, that's the name, we know. However, it's yes, it can be said to be an affiliate or to drive its name or support or whatever from NLC. But from what I've been seeing so far, I'm afraid it's just like one of those political parties. It can't be said that that party is enjoying the full support, total support, 100% support of Nigerian workers, so to speak. So it's still one of those things, having parties without philosophies, without serious manifesto, without a focus, so to speak. It's one of the funny things in Nigerian politics. We just vote for parties, we just form political parties without a serious ideology. I think that's the word. So we are watching.
Would we say, suggestively, that the Labour Party is just a name for itself? The reason why we're asking this is when Oshiomhole came out in the first place as a Labour Party candidate in the first dispensation, and he saw that he wasn't having a headway, left. Mimiko joined Labour. He wasn't that much in alliance with a Labour union or unionism, as it were. But today, he's a frontliner with the Labour Party. Opeyemi Bamidele has not been any part of the organised Labour. He's more so of other angle, as it were, joining the Labour Party. Is it the reasoning, should we suggest, that the Labour Union is saying these people have not identified with our ideology as a party or as a union, which the party connotes, why they are, at this last minute, jumping ship?
It just shows that people look for platforms to contest political parties. To contest elections in Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, Opeyemi Bamidele was looking for a platform to contest. And the platform was not given to, the opportunity was not given to him by
his party,
ACN then, and now APC. The Labour was there to provide the platforms, even in Imo. We all know Rochas Okorocha as a PDP member. He's moved here and there, and he needed a platform to fulfill his ambition to be a governor. And they found that platform in APGA. Then, now he is on, so to speak, he seems to be on his own in the APC because APGA, as a party, made it clear that they will not follow him to APC. So, Opeyemi Bamidele, a wonderful guy who has always satisfied with the media. I can write a whole 2 chapters on him when it comes to identifying with the media and with the masses and with the public. I'm not here to campaign for anybody. I'm detached. I'm a Nigerian. I'm not from Ekiti, so I can't even vote. And I don't live there. However, I know him then, at least during the June 12 days, because I was the chairman of NUJ Correspondence Chapel in Abuja during the Nadeko era. And we know what we went through I mean, we document all these things at the appropriate time. I know he was our lawyer because as soon as police, arrested our colleagues, then photographers, then will be able to take pictures of MK Abiola during the trial in Abuja. Who were there were the ones covering. I was privileged to be the chairman of the Correspondence Chapel then. Opeyemi has assisted to at least sort out no less than 5 journalists, especially photojournalists. They will see that we will be there, go to court and everything. Anyway, that's by the way. But we all know him to be a paddy man with the incumbent governor. I don't need to go into that. They were so close. I even learned, I don't know if it's true, that he was the one who nominated him or suggested him, who prompted him up, you know, into real politics. He was an activist. He was into the NGO thing. But Opeyemi has been in politics for quite some time. After the Abuja thing, he moved to Lagos, joined Tinubu's cabinet, Commissioner for Information, Commissioner. He's paid his dues, so to speak. But something went wrong between two friends, and he had to try his luck elsewhere. So, in summary, I believe he needed a platform to fulfill his ambition or to prove a point, and he found that platform in Labour, and that's how he's there. So I don't want us to bother our head so much about this thing. Eventually, we're evolving. We can't wait for 200 years like America. You know, we've just celebrated, I think, 15 years of continuous democracy in Nigeria. I pray that after a couple of years, we will now start talking about politics of ideology, politics of focus, policies of, you have to distinguish between the parties. As far as I'm concerned, right now, the kind of agreement we have now, there's no focus, there's no platform. People just want to fulfill their vision, and they either move to APC, PDP. Now Labour is waxing stronger and stronger. And what we are now seeing is that the core Labour people are not even using the platform of Labour Party to contest. That is what is happening. And the core Labour people, other people out there who needed a way to just fulfill their ambition and whatever, they move to Labour. So the ultimate is for people to be focused, to identify with political parties that whose ideologies are in tandem with their goal, not the kind of arrangement. As far as I'm concerned, not them. How they say.
Now, in your submission, 3 times this morning, you've mentioned the word ideology. Now, how do we reconcile ideology with the hunger of our politicians to seek the right platform for them to contest?
It's all about ambition. Tomorrow I may want to be a governor of my state. I hope that will happen one day when there's sanity in the... yes, because right now...
What's your state of origin?
I'm from Ogun State, and we're agitating for Ijebu State. Nothing stops.
So where are you from? Are you from Ogun State or Ijebu State?
Ijebu State. You have to be created, but will be created. Anyway, I'm a member of the National Working Committee for the agitation. The struggle has been on since 1975, and we will continue until we achieve that ambition. Okay. That is, by the way... Ideology platform. Ideology platform. That's a question. We must get there. We must get there. On my way to this place this morning, for instance, I saw certain... Every day I get worried. I'm not talking politics. Talking politics in the sense that maybe because you have one ambition or whatever. I thank God I'm fulfilled. I saw Seyi Martin say this morning, I felt so happy. Because I remember the good old days when it was with Radio Nigeria, the FM station, Radio Nigeria 2, the first FM station in Nigeria. He has made his name, he has made his mark in journalism. You should be able to, within that profession, you should have to live well, ordinarily. I'm happy it's looking good, it's living well. That is how it should be. And someone like him, he wants to go into politics, for goodness sake. We'll cast him, how did he perform as a professional? That's what and I know you won't like to mess up that name, because he has made it, he will not be a billionaire, but he has made a name in broadcasting. I'm just citing that as an example. These are the kind of people, for goodness sake, I believe should go into politics. Not charlatans. Not those people without a pedigree. Those who have not made any contribution whatsoever, emergency millionaires or billionaires, because they have money, because of the level of poverty in this country. Because of they are capitalizing on the poverty that have put many of us, many of our people. Like I said, when I was coming this, I could see poverty written on the faces of people. And I told my wife that, man, I pray that I have an opportunity after serving this country for this long, and my ambition is not to be a billionaire, or I don't even want to be too rich, because I believe if I become too rich, it will affect me spiritually and otherwise. All I want are just the basics, to live well. And to God be the glory. To God be the glory. So ideology and platform. We must get there. And I pray that we move faster than we are now. That the generation of people like you, the older generation like Shea Martins and myself, and those who are even before us, who have at least made an impact in their choosing profession, should be able to say, what else can I do? How can I help more people? I have a name to protect. I mean, for goodness sake, I won't like anybody to mess up that small name. So if I go into politics, I will make sure that I identify the party with clear ideology, which I believe in, which I can identify with, and then use that platform to contest and then touch on the lives of the kind of people I saw on the road. I see them every day anyway, but I was particularly touched this morning. What is wrong with our people, our so-called leaders? Millions, billions, I can go on and on. You see, so until we get there, I'm afraid we won't get it right. And I pray that we'll move faster. Like I said, we cannot wait for 200 years like America. In the next in a few years, when we pray to God Almighty that the right people will emerge. I'm not condemning all the present set of politicians. Some are doing. I'm a good fan of the governor of Lagos State, for instance. He's doing very well, and some others. So I'm not condemning all of them, but I know the majority. They are just there for their own selfish reasons because it's obvious. It's obvious.
Let's take you.
Let's take you with anger.
Let's take you back. Let's take you back to history. Yeah. Let's take you back to history. In the Second Republic, let's use this. Let's come closer home. In the Second Republic, the issue of endorsement did came up when Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe thought it was important for the sanity of political space to align with another political party. And of course, he went ahead to endorse certain people which are sort of ruffled feathers within other political parties by joining the ruling party. And the issue of Beautiful Bride came up. I'm sure you will remember that. These things are done. Why do politicians carry out such endorsements? Particularly when the Labour candidates is available, you have a party of your own, and you're gunning for the same office, and members from your end get up to support the other. Should we suggest that most of our political parties have the same ideology or tend to have the same ideology and not much difference? Would you think there is any difference between the parties?
Like I said, there isn't much difference. Although, to answer your question directly, pointedly, sincerely, I don't think what has just happened is neat enough. It's not good. It's not good.
So the endorsement is deplorable?
I don't like it. It's not good. It's not helping the system. It's not helping the growth of democracy in this country. It's not helping the entrenchment of democracy in this country. Because they should have just told us from the day one that they don't believe in Labour Party. It's not compulsory we have a Labour Party. Since we have a Labour Party and we have Labour movement in Nigeria, I mean, it's implied that you must, you ought to support your party. Or you keep quiet. You keep quiet, not coming out loud to embarrass your candidate or people on the other side. It's not worth it. It's not good for political evolution in this country. Now, that's my personal opinion. No, I'm an activist too. I'm a member of you know my role in NUJ. So, but I'm entitled to my opinion, and whatever is good for this country, I believe I should be able to say it out. The timing and everything is waiting. It's so glaring. It's so glaring.
Well, there's an avenue to remind you that you can reach us on any of our social media platforms. You can reach us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Court TV News is our identity on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Our handle is @Court TV News NG. Then you can watch what's previous on YouTube. youtube.com/CoreTV Lagos Space News. We've started getting messages this morning already from Facebook. We'll let you in on those messages as they come in. Now, in the 2011 elections, just like in the 1993 elections, we could see that our people, the electorate, moved away from party interest or affiliations to personalities. I'll come to that, but let me quickly take this message, as you can see on the screen, from Adiade Deji in Ibadan. We understand what the Ekiti people are saying. The endorsement of Fayemi, a man who until a few weeks ago, many were saying did not pay salaries and was owing up to 1 year's wages, has certainly become the toast of the organized labor. Nigerians are very fickle, and election time is used by pressure groups to blackmail those in government. However, we want a peaceful election, period. That came in from Adiade Deji in Ibadan. So
what would your reaction be to that?
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. In view of what is on the ground, we should be careful so that I won't be accused of taking side. Let people decide on who to vote for, like the issue of non-payment of salaries for 1 year and stuff like that. I can't claim to have the reasons for the delay. The caller, treat up, sort of. But if people are watching, let them decide on who they will vote for. I mean, the ordinary Ekiti people, which is the ideal.
A very discerning group, we must say.
Instead of us trying to influence them unduly, especially as organized labor.
Now, just quickly, back to where we left off from. In the 2011 elections, just like in the 1993 elections, we could see a shift on the part of the electorate from party affiliations or interest to personalities, individual capabilities as perceived by the electorate. Can we say the same is what's playing out in Ekiti at the moment?
I want to believe that's what is playing out, because even talking about the politics of ideology and what have you, I think went with the Second Republic, with Chief Obafemi Awolowo and whatever. They had clear manifestos and philosophy. They never hid all these things. We're mature not to know all these things. But right from even the two-party system, the government imposed two parties, SDP and NRC. I covered NRC throughout. And I've been covering politics since 1982. I covered Waziri Ibrahim.
Since 1982?
82, yes. I covered Waziri Ibrahim's campaign for the election, for the 1983 election. And it was clear that his own philosophy, politics without bitterness. He never hid it, and he demonstrated it. He was focused, welfare policy and what have you. Mind you, he would have been the president of Nigeria and Second Republic if not for the rift within the party. GNPP, Great Nigerian People Party, broke into two, and the NPP evolved, and Zik was invited. That problem of whether, I think it was, I don't even think, he was asked to either be the presidential candidate or the chairman of the party, but he opted to combine the two, presidential candidate and chairman, and I'm sure there's some other reasons. But that was the main issue thrown up, and then he now formed his own party. Anyway, that's by the way. What I'm just trying to say is that the issue of principle or whatever, or philosophy, I believe went with that era. Then the two-party system, which I really endorse as far as I'm concerned, was also very clear. Their manifestos were just clear. The only problem there was just that the two parties were imposed by government. They were not allowed to evolve. And what we are now seeing is the involvement of two parties naturally, which also shows that, shows the beauty of democracy. Which shows that we are heading towards somewhere. It's just that we are not fast enough, although we shouldn't
try to pace it beyond
the
pace.
As far as I'm concerned, it's all about personalities now. It's all about personalities, not about issues.
Okay, let's take another from Facebook. This is from Kazim Rahim in Ilawe, Ekiti. It is the election that will decide the Super Eagles also got... It is the election that will decide. The Super Eagles also got a lot of endorsement from some companies. It doesn't mean they will automatically win all their games at the World Cup. On election day, the endorsement will not vote. Neither will Jonathan. We, the people, will decide, and our will and wish must be allowed to stand. The path to peace in Ekiti is simple. Let our votes count. That's from Ilaiwe Ekiti.
Really punchy and dramatic.
I like that last line. Let our votes
Count.
It's very, very
Let.
Let. That's just it. I think that's the
Let.
Should we say suggestively that INEC is ready for Ekiti in the light of all of the panicky situation that is going on and the antecedents of violence?
I want to believe, from what I've heard from INEC so far, the body seems to be ready, and we pray they are truly ready. So we don't want to hear stories like we had in Anambra, whatever. We pray that they succeed, because it's not enough to just sit back and say, I may expect perfection. We should also pray for them to succeed, because it's important they succeed. They must succeed with Ekiti, must succeed with Osun. They will now assure us that yes, next year's general election will be will go smoothly. You see, so I just pray and I hope that they are ready, and they even have some days to just tidy things up. My greatest fear about Ekiti is this issue of violence, political violence. Sincerely, I'm not happy about it. I thought the people of Ekiti have grown over and above that. I mean, I saw the vehicles being overturned and what have you, and the other time the violence that followed the visit by President Obasanjo, President Jonathan, President Jonathan to Ado-Ekiti the other time. Sincerely, I'm very, very disappointed, and I just pray that will not scare people from coming out to vote. Nobody wants to die. I'm not in a hurry to die too, because of anybody. For anybody. And so we just pray that the two main parties, or all the parties, will by now be talking to their supporters that just go out there and vote, and then get out and don't create any problem in this country.
Okay, more messages are coming in. This one again from Facebook. Derhete Osage from Benin. The Ekiti hoodwinkers are finally doing the right thing. The endorsement of Fayemi is not a bad thing. Even if the devil is contesting against Fayose, it is safer to back the devil. Human nature is constant. Fayose cannot change, and all those backing him should be careful. A million raindrops cannot remove a leopard spot. That came in from Derhete Osage in Benin.
That's the beauty of democracy. The writer, the mindset, has already made up his mind about Fayose. So
that was quite rigid, quite a strong word there.
Very strong word.
Well, that Fayose cannot change. It was in the news earlier on that he was a man who is still facing charges, and there are some court matters still pending, and yet he's been taken to be the flag bearer for the ruling party. But the issue here is whether Fayose is running as a ruling party candidate or not. Why would the ruling party, knowing all of his antecedents and what they stand to be accused of, why would they choose him to run in the first place?
This is politics. This is politics. You know how many people holding key offices today and still have cases in court? Cases have not been decided. So we can't say. I'm not saying what is good enough. However, you cannot isolate Fayose. You cannot. If the party believes that is the best candidate for them to hand over the flag to, so be it. If the people, most importantly, if the people know all these things too. If they believe that he will be the one to solve their problems, to turn things around for them, so be it. While not encouraging criminality, and while also encouraging the judiciary to sit up, they must speed things up. How long will it take to finish that case, for goodness sake? And so many other cases we have even forgotten about.
Okay, another one from, I think this is from Kaduna, or as I'm saying, Samuel Babalade Fayemis usually says there is no money. I don't know if he learned from Fashola the art of generating internal revenues or if he is just giving all our money to Adebayo, as rumored abroad. What I know is Opeyemi Bamidele would have been a better candidate for the APC. The incumbency factor does not work well in Ekiti and Oyo states, but Bamidele too is in the wrong party. The pride of the Ekiti people will not allow them to vote for Labour. We will never copy Ondo people. Now we're talking personalities, as it were. Yes, they like Fayemi. Yes, they like Opeyemi. And these two people, to have the Labour endorsement, as it were, given to Fayemi, with regards to what Labour said. I mean, it said, despite all the entreaties, despite all the threats about going on in what is going on in Ekiti, we have resolved to be here because we want to dissuade people who want to dissuade us from coming here to say to you that things are working well. We have seen Ekiti, we have come to Ekiti, and we as organized Labour will rally in support of the governor and see if all hell will let loose. This is what Opeyemi's Labour Party is saying to the incumbency, and this is what they said to the governor. That kind of endorsement just goes to show that even their Labour candidate, from the time he was nominated as a Labour candidate, the organized Labour was not in support.
I'm sure he must have sealed everything up in Abuja. Yes, now, once we go to Abuja and get the support of the headquarters.
That is the Labour headquarters.
The Labour headquarters, another parties, you know the way they rush. So I've been living in Abuja for 21 years and covering politics for that long. So we know all these things, and this is, but one would have expected anyway, the headquarters of a Labour Party to have carried the Ekiti State Council along. I'm sure they feel very, very embarrassed with what's happening now. They should have actually talked to them or carried the local chapter along.
In any case, this is where we'll draw the curtain for the first segment, discussing the issue of endorsement by the Labour Party of the incumbency, as it were. That is the organized Labour of the incumbency. The second segment will come your way after the news on the hour. Core Digest will continue. Don't stop writing or giving your comments on our Facebook, on Twitter
as well. Let's stay with us.
Come June 21, it will be decision day for the people of Ekiti. 18 candidates are gunning for one seat.
I am the next governor of Ekiti.
But the people will have the final say.
I know that tolerance has a very big place.
Join extensive coverage of the election and get up to the many details as development unfolds.
I'm the voice of Ekiti people.
With expert analysis from the best political team on television.
And that's honesty of INEC. Without
Join us all day June 21 to find out who emerges the next governor of Ekiti State.
We have agreed to move this state forward.
Keep a date with us on Core TV News. You can also watch us live on our website on www.coretvnews.com, a 24-hour news station.